Thank you, House Chair. I'd like to begin my speech with a quote by President Cyril Ramaphosa, which was delivered at a keynote address in 2023 at a national dialogue on anti-corruption in Boksburg. I quote, "Corruption has wounded our democracy and has shaken people's faith in our institutions. If corruption is not arrested, the greatest damage will not be in the funds stolen, the jobs lost, or the services not delivered. The greatest damage will be in the belief in democracy itself," close quote. Today, we are forced to pause on these words and ask ourselves, how seriously can we take them as a nation? What will be clear at the end of this debate is that we are all going to pay. South Africans are going to pay if we don't attack the disease of corruption that is destroying the Department of Human Settlements. Today, we will surely hear from this House and from the members of this House that things are not that bad, that services are somewhat improving and people are somehow getting back to their dignity. But they won't tell that to the people of Nigel in Ekurhuleni, whose houses have been sold by municipal officials. They won't tell that to the people of Johannesburg in Soweto, whose title deeds are sitting in the municipality gathering dust. They won't tell that to the residents of Stillwater in Northern Cape, whose houses have collapsed just after 10 days of being built. They also won't tell that to the community of Joe Slovo settlement in the Eastern Cape, who have been flooded and will have to wait 3 months until they are able to get housed. They won't, House Chair, tell that to Ugogo, Gogsara, who's 78. She lives in a dilapidated Rondeville in Makadu, Limpopo, and I quote, and these are her words, she says, "One day this house will fall on me. Whenever I apply for an RDP house, they either do not respond or tell me stories." What answers, Minister, do you have for this lady? Towns are drowning before us. We are honestly not going to be able to stand here and lament victories that are non-existent and speak about tangible change that has not reached the people in the ground. People are dying without the promise of houses. People are dying waiting for government to deliver what they promised in 1994. And on the 8th of April, 2025, the DA wrote to the minister because it was first becoming clear that the department was in a freefall. The CEO of the National Home Builders Registration Council was suspended. The National Home Finance Corporation CEO is under investigation for misuse of funds. The Social Housing Regulatory Authority CEO and CFO have both been terminated. The Community Schemes Ombud Service Chief Ombud has resigned amid a corruption scandal. And of course, HDA is now under an investigation by the SIU. There is clearly a catastrophic collapse in this department. This dysfunction seems to be deepening under the watch of senior officials and political heads in the department. This situation is clearly impacting South Africans because this dysfunction is impeding the delivery of affordable housing in our country. But let's shift gears a little bit. On the 26th of August 2024, then Minister of Justice, Minister Simelane, was accused of having received a loan of 575,000 Rand from the Gundu Wealth Solutions while mayor of Polokwane, company directly linked to the unlawful investment of municipal funds into the now completely looted VBS Mutual Bank. You would think that the response to this that the president would have shown Minister Simelane the door. He did not. He asked for the report that he stayed with for 3 months, and even though the DA sustained pressure asking the president to act, he lacked courage to act and instead decided to dump Minister Simelane at Human Settlements, one of the most important departments for South Africans in our country. It seems that this president does not take an issue with the fact that the person accused of corruption sits in his cabinet and will have to look after a budget of 30 billion Rand that is set aside for South Africans. The Democratic Alliance will always support the granting of funds to house the vulnerable. At the same time, fast-tracking jobs and growth to give many more South Africans the dignity of being able to buy and own their own houses. And although this budget and the department have many challenges, under normal circumstances, it would be supported. However, we sit with a minister who faces corruption allegations, who has not been accountable to the South African public, and it is because of this we struggle to support this particular budget. Yesterday, it was revealed that criminal investigation against the minister were underway by the South African Police Service following the charges that were laid by the DA. When the minister at the helm cannot be trusted with the scent of the taxpayer funds, how are we supposed to tell the public that their interests are cared for and protected? Minister Simelane cannot be trusted with a single rand, let alone 33 billion rand of this budget. As President Ramaphosa said, corruption has wounded our democracy and shaken people's faith in our institutions. If corruption is not arrested, and the greatest damage will not only be the funds that have been stolen or the jobs that have been lost.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Your time has now expired.
That will be damaged. I thank you.